Hey, welcome back. My name is Dino. This video is on medium as a message and how that aphorism applies to corporate communication. What's the importance of this quote and the idea of medium as a message? Corporate communication is a powerful medium in today's society. It is changing our lives. Think about how life was 100 years ago before corporate communication was as omnipresent as it is today. And as a context for all this, if we think of corporate communication as a medium, we can think of it as a system that we use, that we exist within, and that we communicate, interact with others. Think of some of the traits. I'll talk really briefly about three of them: scale, psychic and social consequences, and pace or pattern. First, of course, scale. This is from McLuhan. Personal social consequences of any medium result from the new scale that's introduced into our affairs by each extension of ourselves or technology. Think about this. There's a picture of a highway below with a very, very scenic area. When you're driving, so say if you're in a car and you've been hit by someone, and I hope that hasn't happened, but if you've ever been hit by someone, you'll go, he hit me. And then if you think about it, in terms of scale, you're not actually being hit normally. It's your car is being hit, but we extend our sensory life into the objects around us, such as our cars. And if you think about that, we are increasingly impacted by corporate communication due to capitalism's just omnipresence in our lives today. Let's think of some of the consequences, psychic and social consequences of media. What we are considering are the psychic and social consequences of the designs or patterns as they amplify or accelerate existing processes. So we have technology, media all around us, and they impact our psychic and social lives. So think about this. If you lived this is New York City subway, as you can see by that poster on the far left, and you see by the cars, those orange seats, so lovely, that are in a typical New York City subway. Very familiar. However, if you can contrast, say, the very typical New York City life by subway versus an LA life, car life, it highly impacts our interactions. So think about this. If you're in a subway, it is almost impossible to not interact with other people, going through the turnstiles, waiting on a platform for a train, being in a train. Versus, say if you live in California and you're doing a little bit better, you have a car, you have maybe a garage. You might not. You'll go into your car in your garage or in front of your place, get into your car and not interact with literally anyone for miles and miles. So it's interesting how media and technology have impacted our lives that way in our interactions. And if you think about it these days, when you think about, again, you see this picture here, even for the subway. There's the Walk New York sign on the left. There is in a subway, or when we walk around a common major city across the world, how many corporate communications are adorned literally everywhere. Then think about this pace and pattern. Again, this is McLuhan. For the message of any medium or technology is this change of scale or pace or pattern that it introduces into human affairs. Think of below, this is a night game for baseball, just a typical stadium. Before the lights, and I apologize, they're kind of cut off, they're on the upper right-hand side. You can see the big poles, and you see the big bright scoreboard on the right. Before lights, baseball could not be played at night. And professionally, it was just too dark. As a kid, I played it up until the end of, proper light. Then it became a bit too dangerous. Now, as we've introduced medium or technology, it changed the scale and pace or pattern. Because of lights, and again, this is just one typical example of baseball, all these people are coming. They're in their cars. They're going to this place in a lighted stadium at night. And those are things that cannot be done before this technology. And think about this. For the medium and technologies involved in corporate communication, we are increasingly treated as consumers of corporate communication, corporate products, like whenever we buy a product or a service, as producers of corporate communication. For example, if we review something on Yelp and that is used by a website or not used by a website, we are producers of corporate communication for the corporate entities. And then also, if you think about the idea of surveillance capitalism, how we as consumers, our data is being used increasingly for sale. We are data sources for corporate communication. And before it was so omnipresent and so technologically based, we would not be these data sources. Finally, think of some different impacts of medium, of media and corporate media, how it's had on yourself and our broader world. For example, if you were going to participate or be sort of inundated by corporate communication as a medium, you have to have a device, you have to have a connection to Wi-Fi, you have to participate, and you have to have some kind of equity. Think about this. For you to review something, say, on Yelp or Google Reviews, etc., you need to have a device, a connection, the means to actually use that product or service. So if you don't have the money, you can't. I mean, it's hard. You could fictionally review something, but you need money to buy that product or service to properly do a Yelp review or a Google review. There are multiple ways and directions of communication for corporate communication. It is potentially highly disorienting how, if you're walking on a street corner, you can see posters, billboards, changing digital signage all the time. We can get corporate communication via our phones, via our laptops, our desktops, etc., in our magazines and our newspapers. It's everywhere. TV commercials. It transcends space and time. It can be both immediate and asynchronous. Think about this like if you're checking your phone at night, you just got up and you're just kind of bored and you can't go to sleep. You can get corporate communication just in your bed. Like if you're looking through, you're reading an article, you're looking at a video, you're gonna have like a pop-up on a YouTube video, etc., etc. It's constant communication. For corporate communication, includes all media, not only legacy media like TV, radio, and newspaper, but also the internet, Instagram, photos, etc., etc. You are communicated in a corporate manner across all media these days. It's hard to ignore. Shortens communication. We are communicated via communications or our response to corporate communication by text, by images, by emojis. When they're more symbolic, like these things can often be, say not specifically text, but more image and emoji based. It can be very ambiguous. It's hard to read, and it's a site for miscommunication. Corporate communication these days, in the present day, it fosters more online than offline communication. Again, thinking about the idea of surveillance capitalism, we are so much more fodder and sources of data that can be surveilled. The companies can make money purely off of our digital presences and selling that data to other people. As a result, there's a little bit less face-to-face communication because we're all on our devices a bit too much. And our communication be decontextualized. As I said before, when it's shortened communication, as I said earlier in this part, when you have images that are a bit ambiguous, or emojis that are a bit ambiguous, or memes that are very ambiguous, there can be greater misunderstanding, and as a result, you feel upset. You can be more emotional, less rational. And then ultimately, all of this boils down to very profound questions about what is the nature of being a citizen. Are we really truly citizens anymore? Or, as it seems like we are, and I'm laughing because I kind of dislike this, are we just consumers of corporate communications, corporate products, corporate services, producers of reviews for Yelp, for Google Reviews, for different websites that sell products and services? And are we purely more just data sources that various corporations, institutions, and organizations can plunder for their profit? That was Medium as a Message. My name is Dino. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to like this video if you like this type of content. Please feel free to comment. What do you think about the importance of corporate communication? What do you think about the traits about pace and scale, etc.? What do you think about the consequences of corporate communication on our lives when it is literally everywhere? What do you think about the pace and pattern about constant communication? How has constant corporate communication to you? Say again, if you just woke up in the middle of the night trying to go back to sleep, you look at your phone and you get a YouTube video ad, you get a pop-up ad on your phone. How does that affect you? Are we, again, the biggest picture question is, are we really citizens anymore, or are we just people to produce reviews for various products and services we use? Are we just consumers that use products and services online or in real life? And finally, are we just fodder for surveillance capitalism by increasingly sophisticated engagement algorithms that force us more online than maybe we'd like. Please feel free to reflect on any of those things and maybe shed a tear or two. As always, thanks for watching. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel if you like this type of content. Thanks for watching.